So Zcash Arborist Call, it's October 2nd, 2025. The agenda is core stack updates with Zcash Foundation, Electric Coin Company with Zcash D, core libraries, and Zale CLI wallet updates. Zingle Labs with Zano, Zcash D deprecation, and then research and implementation updates, Kedit with ZSAs, and then usually Shielded Labs with NSM, but I don't believe anybody's here today from Shielded Labs, and then Shielded Labs and ECC, Crosslink, trailing finality layer, and then any open announcements and discussion. So what are Arborist calls? Arborist calls are biweekly calls where Zcash protocol contributors convene to discuss upgrade timelines and process, protocol R&D efforts, design and implementation of new protocol features, and identify blockers and unresolved issues. The purpose is to make core Zcash development accessible for a wider set of participants and provide more transparency for the community at large. Who can participate? Anyone interested in learning about Zcash protocol development can register at zcasharborist.org. If you want to suggest a topic for discussion or present an in-depth agenda item relevant to the Zcash protocol, email arboristcall@zfnd.org to request a slot. Other ways to get involved, Zcash community grants, Zcash R&D Discord, and the Zcash community forum. And you can find these links by pointing your browser at zcasharborist.org. So core stack updates, Zcash Foundation, Zebra.
That's me today. Thank you, Alex. So in Zebra, since the last Arborist call, we've merged PRs that added a health check endpoint. So container orchestration tools like Kubernetes can restart Zebra if an instance has exited or seems to be having issues. We restored a test checking that Zebra disconnects from misbehaving peers, added support for querying sidechains with the get raw transaction RPC, implemented the get network info RPC, and simplified our CI and made it work on forks. There are also new PRs open which add another simpler health check endpoint to the RPC server, adds a mapped request trait for the state service to provide convenient access to concrete response and error types to callers of the state service, which should be very useful as we improve error propagation from Zebra state. There's another PR that improves error propagation from the state service when handling invalidate block requests, following two other recent PRs, all of them by Ciceri. Thank you, Ciceri. That did the same for the commit semantically verified block and reconsider block requests. And then there's another PR open that advertises mine blocks to all peers in the peer set and fixes an issue with advertising generated blocks on test networks when those blocks were generated in quick succession. And I think that's most of it.
Thank you, Arya. Any questions for Arya? ZF also posted a long update on the forum related to our engineering work lately, so definitely check that out as well. On to core stack updates with ECC on Zcash D, core libraries, and Zale.
All right, so a few major things since the last Arborist call. One is that we've completed a bunch of work on the Zcash script crate to sort of finish out the Rust implementation of the Zcash script interpreter. And we're hoping, so that has been used now for the generation, so for adding P2SH support to a number of the backend libraries so that we were able to do the keyholder org generation for the NU 6.1 lockbox disbursement address. So Strad piloted that ceremony on Wednesday, and we now have a P2SH address and a bunch of new new standards for the Zcash ecosystem for how P2SH should be handled. So CZIP48 for all of those. And a bunch of new software just in support of P2SH transactions generally, with a bunch of specifics for P2SH multisig. Beyond that, we have forthcoming crate releases for the entire stack for the NU 6.1 network upgrade, and we will have those crate releases should hopefully happen today. And then we will have a Zcash D supporting NU 6.1 release also happening in the next day or so. So those are the major efforts. There's also been a number of sort of smaller efforts related to Zashi, but I don't think any of those are. Yeah, they're mostly UI and UX related. We have a couple of things coming. We merged a bunch of changes for support of different wallet policies around the number of confirmations to use before spending, and have a couple more changes on that front, and also some changes related to, now that Zashi has swap functionality, using sort of one-time use transparent addresses when interacting with third parties that only need a one-time use transparent address. So
should we just summarize the confirmation depth policy? Because
I mean,
yeah.
I think that it's documented in ZIP 315.
Yeah.
Effectively, we have a distinction between what are considered trusted UTXOs. So these are typically TXOs that your wallet produces, so change TXOs, and untrusted TXOs. Those are TXOs received from third parties. The new policies in Zale by default will use 3 confirmations for trusted TXOs, because you're not concerned about someone double spending on you. And for untrusted TXOs, it's still 10 confirmations, but wallets will be able to adjust those levels on their own. And there will be mechanisms for marking your own TXOs, or marking arbitrary TXOs as trusted, if you want to say, no, I trust the sender, and that not to double spend. So
yeah,
that's it.
Great. Any questions for ECC? I just want to add, like, huge thanks to Strad. I was a witness to the key generation ceremony when it happened, and just absolutely amazing listening, watching how that unfolded, and just a big thanks to the whole ECC team and everybody else who made that possible. I know y'all have put a massive amount of work into that.
Yeah. Strad has moved heaven and earth and deserves a lot of credit for this.
Yep, and sleep, right? He definitely needs more sleep after that. So huge appreciation. So thank you. Core stack update, Zingo Labs with Zeno.
Yeah, so we've been making steady progress on our updates to support Zale. We have been refactoring our code to better encapsulate upstream types from downstream. So our public API will be exposing fewer upstream types. We have been decoupling. We're almost completely done with decoupling Zingo infrastructure from all non-test crates in Zino. We have started working on Block Explorer RPCs. We have 2 that we finished off recently, and another 5 in progress. And we are updating the configuration for ZynoD. That work should also be landing soon. I think that brings us up to date for Zeno.
Great. Any questions for Za? Okay, Zcash D deprecation updates, CCC, ZF, Zingo Labs, Paku.
All right. Hi, everybody. Yeah, a bunch of things covered by previously by TF updates, Zingo Labs, and ECC. I think there are a few things that were not explicitly mentioned, which is that we are at the point in time where NU 6.1 is being wrapped up, and everything's getting ready for their activation later this year. And Also, like at the activation height is going to be set up today, depending on zip editor's availability. So people watching this should go to zips.z.cash and check the activation height. And
that's zip 255, by the way.
okay.
There's a PR there.
Thank you there, Emma. And then Zcash the 6.10.0 will be released at some point in time soon, and there will be a Zebra release as well. I think we had talked about that being 3.0, but I don't know if that's a final decision from the Zebra engineering team. But yeah, there will be a bunch of releases of a lot of software. So just pay attention, and we will anyway be contacting all the people that we have direct contact with, like exchanges, block explorers, miners, to remind them of these new updates, what the timeline is for the network upgrade, and all that soon, as we always do. And with this, we have been also talking a bit about like post NU 6.1 work, which there's a lot transitioning to the NU 7 work, like member bundles, or a lot of things on the orchard crates and whatnot. Yeah, so that's pretty much what was not mentioned by everybody else. And yeah, we will reach out, but stay tuned for the new software releases and let us know how everything goes. Also, we're slowly contacting people for the Saleh closed alpha. It is not closed because like ECC folks and everyone here in general build in the open, but it's closed because we picked up a specific orgs that we have a closer relationship with for this initial alpha stage of Saleh. But everyone who's listening or watching this can go to the GitHub/Zcash/wallet, which is the Saleh repo, and check the alpha and take it for a spin. Read the Saleh Alpha book, which is a very comprehensive guide of how to get started with Saleh. And that has happened like the last few weeks. I think it was released on the last Arborist call, and then yeah, we've started like the outreach in the past 2 weeks. So that's progressing as well. We have 3 out of 6 confirming they will participate, and we're waiting for 3 other responses. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Any questions for Paco? Alfredo.
Yeah, I want to add that I saw in the Discord that SecHub, I think Bismarck made some sort of tool for their shielded newsletter using Saleh and the memo chunks, I think. So they will release the code for that after some workshop they have, and I think it might be worth to add it to our list of Zcash deprecation efforts.
Oh, thanks for adding that. Yeah.
I'll send you a link to that conversation in the Discord, Paco.
Oh, thank you. Oh, yeah. And speaking of which, like Alfredo has been working a lot on the RPC test framework, which is helping a lot to actually get a good test bed for Zcash deprecation. That's progressing a lot. Thanks, Alfredo.
Alfredo also asked on chat about updating LibreZcash for the NU 6.1 activation height. That's PR 1979. So that needs review.
So after the SIP, then to be another. After the SIP is approved, there's going to be another PR in Libra Zcash. So how is the process?
Oh, the process is that we just merged that PR.
Yeah, the PR that's up there it has as the activation height what we have been discussing, which is the end height of the existing lockbox funding stream, so that there's no interruption, but not before that. So that's what I've implemented in that PR as the prospective activation height. But yeah, we will codify that in the zip.
Great. Let's move on to research and implementation updates with Kedit, Zcash shielded assets.
Thanks, Alex. Can I share my screen, please? Okay. So I want to start with a quick status update on the ZSA project. So ECC successfully merged our changes in regards with Halo 2 gadgets and Halo 2 proofs. This is actually inside the same GitHub repository. Also merged the Sensimilia and the changes required for Zcash node encryption. Currently, the Orchard ZSA, which is a big amount of work, is ready for review. We will discuss in details in a moment. Also, work being done around Sapling Crypto, Libra Zcash. Libra Zcash includes multiple crates, and Zebra. In addition, there are auxiliary code bases, mostly the Zcash test vectors, the section that relate to Orchard ZSA, also ready for review, and the section relates to transaction V6. This is in progress. We also have the TX tool. It is our way to generate V6 transactions. This is not for review. This is auxiliary. So we do need to maintain it until everything here is merged, but this will not be submitted as part of the core code base. Next, on the subject of Orchard ZSA review. So this is a big amount of changes, and generally speaking, we can divide this into 4 sections. So we have Orchard ZSA, basically the ZSA data structures added to Orchard and to the builder. This is the most significant amount of changes and the most critical point to this project. This is this part. We have the Orchard ZSA circuit. I colored it in green because it was previously reviewed by list authority and it was not changed since then. So we have at least partial indication for correctness, and not the entire load of review is on ECC. We have some external point of view that this is good and this is working and this is secure. Aside from this, we have Python test vectors for Orchard and now Orchard ZSA. This is also ready for review, and this can be reviewed in parallel to these two. And in addition, inside Orchard crate, there is the PCZT section. We changed it, we upgraded it to support ZSA just for transfer for the moment. And we call it version 2 for Orchard PCZT because obviously the original PCZT, whoever uses it for Orchard should continue to use this for Orchard. This new version is for the future, for future wallets, for future hardware wallets. Again, this can be postponed, but the main weight is on the structure and the builder. Question for ECC: when do we want to start the review? Darema and Chris, do you have an opinion on this?
So in the meeting earlier today, I said as soon as we can. We've got a little bit of stuff to finish off, yeah, within the next 2 weeks.
Awesome. This is good news. We can put this behind us. This is a significant, after this, the risk for the ZSA would be much lower. Much lower. We are available for interactions. The review will require interactions. We can discuss how to do this in our bi-weekly meetings. Thanks, Daremo. Okay, next I want to discuss integration. So we're doing integration work in addition to everything else. So we already did the changes required to version the SIG hash for Orchard, but it makes a lot of sense that we are already familiar with the logic, and we are also doing this for sapling and for transparent transactions to ease the process, not to switch in the middle. So this is happening. The code itself is in Libra Zcash. Also, we will update our fork of Libra Zcash with these changes as well. We are doing the transaction v6 integration. So we caught up with upstream. A lot of moving parts in Libra Zcash. We caught up. Many people working on this. We see the changes. We integrated the NSM field, which is actually the burn amount field. Now we have TXV6 transaction format that includes both the Orchard ZSA bundle, the issuance bundle, and the NSM field in one package. This is good step for integration. We saw that in the existing code for NSM, it is called zip 233 amount, but in zip 230, it is called burn amount. So there is a bit
that's a bug in 230. I'll hopefully be able to fix that right now.
So the suggestion is to change to 30 for zip 233 amount.
Yes.
This is the. Okay,
yes.
Very well.
Yeah, it was intentionally changed from burn amount to zip 233 amount. I guess that was missed.
I see. Yeah, that helps. Another question about feature flags. Okay, so now we have the combined version of TXV6, and there we discussed about feature flags, but now this is a different question. So the zip 233 amount is currently under NU7 and under zip 233 feature flag. The question is, isn't it a good time to combine those two flags together into NU7? And
okay, so you'll note that the Zcash unstable flag is not a feature flag. This is a compilation flag. It's a config flag, and so it cannot be transitively enabled, and you cannot have multiple Zcash unstable flags enabled at once. So the answer is essentially that we would prefer to keep everything that, the reason for having that Zcash unstable flag, config flag, is so that we can merge these changes to and make releases of the code without risking releasing a feature flag that might be inadvertently enabled. By someone building all features or something of the sort. So these are not things that can be combined. They are they serve different purposes. The feature flag describes the feature being included with NU7. The Zcash unstable flag ensures that we can actually merge that code.
But what prevents us from putting everything, including zip 233 amount, under Zcash unstable NU7?
Well, that would be essentially removing the zip 233 feature flag, which I mean, if we're absolutely certain that that is going to be in NU7, then I guess we could do that. But I don't really see that there's a need to at the moment. What's wrong with leaving it as it is?
So from time to time, there is a complicated intersections. Here, this is a very simple example, but we find ourselves with 2, 3, 4 feature flags on one field, and then you need to adjust the logic for the feature flags. While if everything combined into NU7, this is much simpler. Like you get additional logic just to take into account multiple flags.
I guess I'm not understanding what situation you would need a directive more complicated than this. Can you give an example?
So an example would be, I guess, in a method call where, say, both is, you have both an issuance bundle and a zip233 amount. If it would be more complicated if there were scenarios where those two fields interacted. I'm not sure. I guess that because issuance and the zip233 amount, they might interact slightly in fee computation code. Although I don't think that the zip233 amount has any implications for fees. So, well, maybe it does in terms of the.
It does in terms of calculating balance, but you don't need an interaction of flags to do that. You just have a conditional code that either takes into account the zip233 amount or doesn't. Yeah, can you give an example, Pablo, of a more complicated case?
I will try to look for this after I finish.
Okay.
If I'm able, I will return with this.
Okay.
In general, I would not be high level opposed to removing the zip233 feature flag, then and just including it under the Zcash unstable flag. Yeah, it would just be better to have more examples of where it's causing problems.
Yeah, because each of the independent features will have a feature flag, right? So memo bundles will have a feature flag, and so on.
Mild tangent, but it might be a good idea to instead of having a high fee for issuance, require that there be a zip233 amount included in issuance, so that the fee would essentially just go to the sustainability fund rather than to miners.
I think that's been discussed before.
Okay.
I don't know what the resolution to that discussion was.
There wasn't a resolution so far. I wasn't opposed, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I agree with the concept, but we just need to codify exactly what that is into the zips.
Okay.
Very well. So we will keep it separate for now, but some time in the future we will need to combine them into one probably. Okay, so we have this feature flag, sapling crypto. Okay, so we have a version of sapling crypto which the changes required for ZSA are not merged yet. So this is not a direct changes for ZSA. These are changes caused by our changes to Zcash node encryption. So we did some updates to sapling crypto to support the changes in Zcash node encryption. But another portion of the changes is the Zcash versioning. So we are doing Zcash versioning for sapling and transparent. This will affect sapling crypto. So there will be a PR for this as well. Swaps. So for swaps, we're not putting a lot of attention into this right now. We are doing on the side, we are doing proof of concept in order to verify that indeed transaction v6 includes all the changes needed to support swaps, and also all the rest of the assumption holds. So if we have this proof of concept, we can safely say, okay, we did everything needed in this update to support swaps with minimum friction later. So this is happening as well. Zebra. On the Zebra front, we are working on global state management. So Zebra is a story on its own. We within the state, as previously discussed, and upcoming, we're going to include the consensus changes for ZSA and the additions needed based on global state and based on all the other components. That concludes the update.
Great. Thank you, Pablo. Any questions for Pablo while I get this sharing again?
Alfredo, go ahead.
Yeah, I have a few questions. First one related to sapling crypto. Is that changes strictly needed for CSA, or is something that you want to do?
So the change that we are doing is versioning for Zcash. This is defined by the zips. Because we already did this change for Orchard, the logic is very clear. We discussed it with DCC many times, and we have like our finger on the button already.
Yeah,
So,
I agree, but so let's suppose we want to find out what is exactly needed to shield the asset. That could be something that is optional.
So again, this should be backward compatible. Sapling for transaction v5 should remain unchanged to support v5. This is for v6. We want to version Zcash for v6 even for sapling. This is the intention of the zip editors.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah, but it's important that it be consistent between different shielded pools in v6.
Yeah, what I saw is that there are too many
go on.
fronts open to do that, and I know shielded asset is a big that actually touch almost everything we have, and I was wondering if we can try to do the exercise of reducing the scope if we need it at some point. And the other question I
think
had
it
is
would
about
be.
the. Yeah, go
Go
ahead.
on, carry on. I think it would be even more complicated to have sapling work differently from Orchard in v6.
That makes sense.
And we
Another
don't have a
question I
specification
have-
for that.
Yeah, about you mentioned a few test vectors repositories. Speaking about, I'm totally ignorant about that repository, but maybe the stuff there is somehow different and easier to review for other people than the ones that are more core. So maybe we could kind of release the ECC in that regards, or do you think that's not possible?
What do you think?
Sorry, can you repeat the question?
So I was wondering if other people, like, for example, developers from the foundation, could review the test vector changes they are doing, or if that is so tied to the rest of the scene that it makes sense for the same people to do it.
I mean, I think core team would want to, ECC core team would want to review those changes anyway. It's the kind of thing that needs several eyes on it.
Okay, that makes sense. But if you're going to be reviewing it anyways, I'm not sure if.
Well, I think it would be useful for people from more than one org to review it. But obviously, if you don't have time, then don't.
Okay.
What I like about these suggestions is, first of all, I really like the test vectors. The test vectors is actually is reference implementation. It's relatively easy to read and to understand and to compare to the zips, much easier than the Rust code. So if say 2 reviews are required, one of them could be Zcash Foundation, for example, or something like this. This is a very very positive suggestion, in my opinion.
Yep, I agree.
We could discuss this, Alfredo, in our meetings with on Wednesday.
Yeah,
We can
thanks for
kickstart this. Maybe even I can push this further to a situation where it is like actually reviewable. It is reviewable, but maybe I will do another pass to make sure, and then guide the Zcash Foundation how to start.
okay.
Yeah, this could be super helpful. Also, another opinion. Yeah.
Great. Anything else on this subject for now? Thank you, Pablo. There we go. Has anybody joined from Shielded Labs? I don't believe so. Okay. And then anything from ECC on this subject, Crosslink? Or should we just continue?
Not from me.
Cool. Open announcements. If you have some news or announcement you'd like to share, please raise your hand and share.
I have COVID. It sucks.
Oh, sorry to hear that.
Yeah, really does. Wear masks, people.
Any open discussion? Is there anything anybody would like to bring up before we wrap up? Going once. Okay, well, thank you very much. Next Arborist call will be October 16th at 1500 UTC. Thanks for all for participating. Appreciate it.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Bye bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.